My hair got caught. Oh, I was gonna make eggnog. I'll do it later. Here is where things get messy. Immediately obsessed. But those are my only issues so far. Nipples and crevices. Hi guys, welcome in. Today is going to be the first official reading vlog of Vlogmas. We're over a weekend and I still haven't picked up a book. That's insanity. Really going to immerse myself in all of the Christmas literature that I can find. I have a few books in mind, but I think I'm going to start with something that's actually on my December TBR, and that's A Merry Little Meet Cute. I've had this for a really long time. I haven't heard anything about it. I haven't heard anyone's opinions. I think I randomly came across this at like a Walmart one day and decided to pick it up. Probably because I like the cover, because it's really cute. Okay, so it looks like we're following this girl. Her name is Bee, and she's an adult film actress, and she goes to this town to film something, but it's not an adult film. On the back, it literally says that she's cast as the lead in a squeaky clean Christmas movie, and she has to keep it under wraps that she is actually an adult film actress. So that sounds like it's going to be a very fun time. There's probably going to be a lot of humor in here, and I'm really excited. So I think this is going to be book number 1 for this reading vlog. Excited to get this kicked off, but I'm going to go and make some eggnog really quick, and then we're going to cozy up and we're going to get reading. It's the next evening and I do have an update for A Merry Little Meet Cute. Also, yes, I'm still wearing the same hoodie. It's comfy, okay? We're not going to judge. But I'll get to this in a second. First, I have an unboxing. In my shopping video and in my decorating my room video, I talked about how these little mini plushies hadn't come in yet. They just got here. I can already feel them. They're so soft. Oh my god, they're so cute. Shut up. Oh, they have names. So this little guy's name is Ricardo. Ricardo spends most Christmases at his pet rock shop. He always feels bad for the rocks that didn't find their forever home that year and loves throwing big holiday bashes to make them feel better. This year there will be hot cocoa, tiny Santa hats, and even a secret limestone gift exchange. I wasn't expecting backstories. And then we have Kiko, little ice queen. Kiko has a special connection with the snow. Somehow it just makes her feel peaceful. Best of all, Kiko says many magical moments happen when it snows. Like that day she got a perfect score on her spelling test. It was snowing. How does the snow make you feel? She's so cute. Then we have Floyd, little Santa guy. Have you ever met a French fry that loves adventure? Meet Floyd. This salty fry dreams of leaving the kitchen for adventures he's only heard about. Floyd wants to climb a mountain, sail the seas, or even visit his family out west. So he's a French fry Santa. I'm obsessed with that. This one might be my favorite. This is Ethel. Oh my god, she's like a little peppermint mocha. Ethel is a silent film actress. She just booked her first major role in The Private Life of Mrs. Claus and hopes to one day play a first lady or something real serious and dramatic like that. For now, she's just happy to quit her day job at the Delicatessen. I don't know what that is, but I really like her. These are the little squishmallow guys and they're so cute. Hold on, I need to put them on my shelf. That was so cute and fun. Also, I am keeping their little name tags and their stories attached to them. 1, so I can remember their names because I'm terrible with names. And 2, so I can go back and I can reread their stories and cry about it. Okay, so we're in a different spot and the sun is out. It's the next day. Right after unboxing all of the Squishmallow little plushie guys, I was immediately overstimulated and super anxious. I don't know why. I attempted to film an update, but I was just talking straight gibberish. So I figured it would just be better for me to wait until the morning to give you an update on how I'm feeling. I am on chapter 7, page 110, and so far I'm actually really enjoying this. I'm actually kind of shocked. I was really nervous about the premise of her being an adult film star and him being like a bad boy band member or ex-boy band member. I felt like I was going to get cringed out a lot, but it's just kind of making me giggle. It's very easy to read. A lot of the conversations are just really funny to me. If I don't take it too seriously, then I like it. But general premise, B, she's an adult film star. She is wanting to try and get into more serious movies and get more mainstream and not just worry about her subscription service that she's doing. Think like OF vibes. I don't know what all I'm allowed to say on YouTube. And she's given this opportunity by her manager, who kind of accidentally gets her cast in a movie. The way that she actually gets the role in this movie is actually kind of funny. Her manager, producer, whoever, he owns like 2 different kinds of production companies, one of them being an adult film studio, the other one being squeaky clean, super wholesome movies. Very, very different business ventures. And he doesn't want the squeaky clean to know about the adult film studio. I think it's called like Uncle Ray Ray's. Okay. And in the movie that they're about to film, the lead actress, she gets hurt or sick or something, and they need to find a replacement super quick because they're supposed to start filming like 2 days from then. So emergency meeting at the airport with the director. He panicked and he gathered everything that he possibly could think of that could help with their recasting of that role. B's headshot ends up in the folder. The director sees it and was like, I've never seen her before. I would remember her. I want her. And Teddy, the producer guy, he's like, oh, I don't know. He's like trying to talk her away from it, trying to be like, oh, what about this girl? What about this girl? Trying to not combine his 2 different business ventures. The director cannot be talked out of it. So he talks to B, and B ends up being the lead role of this movie. And then Nolan, he is an ex-member of a boy band, and he's also known as like the bad boy of the group. He's gotten into some scandals, and over the past few years, he's been trying to clean up his act just a little bit, show that he's an upstanding citizen and all that jazz. And he is cast as the male lead role in this movie. And here is where things get messy. He needs to keep his act clean. She needs to keep it a secret. She can't let the people on the set know who she actually is, because then Uncle Ray Ray's will come to light, and he doesn't want that. So it's just really funny. It's really goofy and just very, very easy to read. So overall, I'm having a good time. Even though it kind of mentions how his family is going through a hard time, I don't think that this is going to be a very emotional read. I think this is going to just be silly, smutty, fun. That's all this is. And I'm here for it. So I do have plans with my family this afternoon, so I have only a little bit of time to read before then, but I'm hoping to get a lot of this knocked out today. So gonna drink my Alani, gonna read my book. It's gonna be great. Excuse me. So it's actually been a couple of days since I last talked to you about Merry Little Meet Cute. I finished. I was just in the zone with this one, and I just really wanted to knock it out. Also, if my energy right now is lacking, I fear that I might be getting sick. So if energy is low and if I sound weird, that's why. Hopefully I'll get better and not worse. I'm trying to remember what I was thinking while I was reading this book, because there wasn't much. Okay, starting with rating, I think 2.5 stars. I thought that the writing was like super simple and very easy to read, and the overall pacing was okay. It's just the overall plot and the specific problems in this book that we were trying to work through, it just felt very odd to me. And there were a couple of times where the main character, she just had some really immature moments. But it's also a situation where both B and Nolan are very much in over their heads when it comes to the situation that they're in. Like, I would look at both of their wants and needs for their career paths and what they're trying to accomplish with this movie. I'm like, there's no way that this actually ends well. At least not in a way that's realistic. But it was really fun. It's really cute and quirky and funny. I also really, really loved all of the representation that was in this book. But with all of those things and all the representation, this book, just overall the plot, wasn't really there for me. 2.5, cute, fun, easy read. Didn't like the plot. Great representation. That's about it. Amazon released their Christmas novella series. It's the Home Sweet Holidays collection. And I started and finished Snow Place Like Home. I gave that, I think it was a 3 stars, 3.5. I thought it was really cute. So we have Goldie and we have Ace. Every time that she said Ace or we were reading in Ace's point of view, all I could think of was Ace from Love Island. That's all I could imagine, which was really difficult because this guy was supposed to be like 6'5". But she is the maid of honor and he is best man in Goldie's brother's wedding. So it's brother's best friend, childhood, friends to lovers kind of trope. Goldie just went through a breakup of like a 5-year-long relationship. And then Ace comes into the picture like, I have loved her since we were like in high school. They have both actually liked each other. And so the whole story is them finally confessing their feelings for each other. And that's it. It's really, really cute. It's really heartwarming. Very short. I read it in about like an hour. It's a 57-page novella, so super short. Really cute. I really liked the writing style of this author. There were some really good one-liners, especially from Ace. And now I am 1 chapter into Merry and Bright. So far, the 2 people that we're following are flying home for the holidays and they meet on the plane. And they've struck up this deal where it's like, hey, let's pretend to date for our family so that you cannot feel invisible to your family. And then you can also be a buffer from me and my family who's like really overwhelming. They both agree. And that's where we're at. Their names are Cal and Miriam. And Cal apparently looks like Jason Momoa. But so far so good. I have about an hour left of this book, so hopefully I can just knock this out because I'm just feeling in the mood to sit and read and be cozy because I'm feeling unwell. Well, now things just got really awkward. Oh, that was so cute. And how long is the next one? You would think that I've never filmed a reading vlog before in my life with my inability to film myself reading. I literally marathoned the rest of the novellas in that Home Sweet Holidays collection for Amazon. Because I mean, the last 2 were so short, literally like 60 pages. And I was just in the zone and I kept reading and I finished them. So now we're going to recap a little bit. So we left off on Merry and Bright. We're following Miriam and Cal. Miriam works for like a snack food company, and Cal, I guess you would consider that he's retired, or you would say that he's retired like a football player. He was injured. And Miriam and Cal, they meet on a plane because they're heading home for the holidays. They get to talking on the plane and they're kind of a little bit vague about their family situations, but they both kind of agreed that it would benefit both of them to pretend like they're dating and go into the holidays as a buffer for each other in their family situations. So it's your typical run-of-the-mill fake dating trope, and throughout the entire book, well, not the entire book, the first little bit of it, I was like iffy about it, but then Cal really started to win me over. Just the way that he was interacting with her family, the way that he was like a safety blanket for her, because she always felt like she was invisible to her family, and every time she would look over at him, he would be looking at her to just be like making sure that she's okay. And so with him winning me over and doing some really, really sweet things, especially towards the end, I just, it was so heartwarming and so sweet, especially with something very tragic that happened to him. I think it added a little bit of extra depth to the novella, in my opinion. But for Merry and Bright, I gave 3.5 stars. It was just very heartwarming, very sweet, and just a solid Christmas novella. And then we have All Wrapped Up in You. We're following Piper and Scott. At the beginning, you see some text exchanges between Piper and her best friend, just talking about how her mystery neighbor that she's been texting back and forth with, she got some of his mail sent to her apartment, and she mistakenly, might I add, thought that she received a vibrator that he ordered, and she took that as, oh, he has a girlfriend. And with her assumption of him having a girlfriend, she's like really, really bummed about it, because she and him have been like texting back and forth, still not knowing each other's names. They just refer to each other by their apartment number, and she has a crush on him through texting. And then we jump to Scott. He is an ER doctor, and he has a night where his friends invite him out to a comedy club, and just to help him relax, let loose, have some fun. And when he's there, he runs across this woman that's having like a panic attack outside, and immediately he's drawn to her. Well, turns out they are the neighbors that have been texting and have been developing a crush on each other over text, but they're also developing feelings in real life now. And so you can kind of guess what happens. They find out and they get together. I absolutely loved this story. I thought it was so sweet. I thought it was really creative. I've never read a story like this before, and the way that everything was being talked about and conveyed, it was just so good. I ended up giving it a 4 stars. It might pop down to a 3.75, but that's just what I'm feeling at the moment. I really, really liked this one. And then the last one is You Better Not Pout. We're following Juliana and Eric. They are a engaged couple that broke off their engagement. They're not together anymore, and they just can't see eye to eye, especially when it comes to her career. That trope, before they kind of explained it a little bit more, is really irritating to me. But from Eric's point of view, I understand his frustrations, because she was kind of letting herself get walked all over by her job, and he was concerned about them using her in that way. I was nervous that it was going to be a situation of man hates woman having a career, but that's not what it was at all. Thank God. This one was definitely interesting to me. I connected a lot with Juliana, especially when it comes to the career side of things. And so having that personal connection really helped me understand her a lot more. But the overall feeling of the book, it just didn't feel like a Christmas novella to me. It happens around Christmas. It happens around a chaotic family atmosphere, and there's Christmas elements, but it just didn't do it for me in that way. I like the premise overall, but it just wasn't my fave. I gave it 2.5 stars. Really great premise, really great idea. It just didn't do it for me. So those are the novellas. And then I went ahead and started How My Neighbor Stole Christmas. I've been wanting to read this since last Christmas. I've heard really, really great things about this book. And as someone who is a huge Grinch fan, I'm very, very excited to get into this. I'm literally only into the epilogue right now, so I don't really know the premise of this book other than it's inspired by the Grinch and the characters in the Grinch. So I'm not fully sure what I'm about to get into, but I'm really excited. So I'm gonna go keep reading How My Neighbor Stole Christmas. So I just got home from working a little bit ago. I came home, got a shower, got changed. While I was out working, I was reading in between orders and also listening to the audiobook. So I actually got a good bit into How My Neighbor Stole Christmas. I'm on chapter 12, page 148, immediately obsessed. So our main characters are Story and Cole. Story comes to this place called Kringletown. She's coming to take care of her Aunt Cindy, whose full name I think is like Cindy Louise or Cindy Lewis. Play on Cindy Lou Who from The Grinch. There's a lot of that in here. Her Aunt Cindy actually breaks her hip, and Story and her sister Taryn come to take care of her. Story, to say the least, she's pretty bummed about being there. And then our other main character, Cole, he is a Kringle local, and he is definitely a grump when it comes to Christmas, but he has a good reason for it. So he is the grump of the town, the Grinch, if you will. And him and Story have history. When he sees her at her Aunt Cindy's house, because they're neighbors, sees her with all of her luggage moving in, he's like, oh, hell no. Because he cannot stand her. So that's just the baseline of where we're at with these two. Now, the main plot point is revolving around this Christmas Kringle competition. It's Jubilation vibes for those that know the Grinch. And Story's Aunt Cindy always competes every single year. But this year, since she has a broken hip, she can't do it. So she kind of tricks / forces Story into competing, literally forges an application and sends it in and is like, no, you're doing this. You're doing this for me. And so Story reluctantly is in this competition, and Cole finds out about it and he's just like, what does she think she's doing? It's kind of a disgrace that she's in here. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to join the competition. And so through different interactions, both before entering the competition and after, they have just decided that they do not like each other. They just despise each other. And it's super, super competitive, and a lot of the insults that they throw at each other are so funny. But it's not even the insults. It's just imagining it all in my head happening, especially when Max is there. Max is just standing there and he is like laughing at everything she's saying about Cole. And it's just so funny to me, just being like, Max, that's your best friend. And she is ripping him to shreds and you are finding it the most entertaining thing in the world. Basically anything with Max in the scene, I'm automatically obsessed. I love him. But overall, this book is super fun, super easy to read, very fast paced. I was a little bit worried with how quickly we went through all of the events in Christmas Kringle so far. But now that I know how many events there's going to be, I feel a lot more at ease with the pacing, because I was worried that Christmas Kringle was only going to be like the first half of the book and the second half was going to be romance, which it might be. And the pacing might still work out, but I was worried that all of the eventful things were going to be really early on and then it would slow down. But we'll see how it goes. But I do have two things, just two things that I wish that Megan Quinn would stop talking about. One, nipples. Why are we talking about nipples so much? Like talking about nipples being cold, nipples being like bedazzled and jingling. Like, there's like a fixation on nipples in here. The other thing, I don't want to hear about washing Aunt Cindy's crevices anymore. I literally can't do it. They keep talking about how Taryn keeps cleaning Aunt Cindy's crevices because she's giving her like sponge baths to try and like help her. And like, she's her main caregiver. I think it was in the last chapter that I read. Within the span of like a paragraph or like 2 paragraphs, they talk about crevices like 4 times, or they mention Aunt Cindy's crevices 4 times. Can we not? But those are my only issues so far. Nipples and crevices. You know, your basic book grievances. But loving it so far. I want to dive right back into it, so I'm going to go ahead and get back to reading. Oh, the other thing, a lot of the chapters start off with like this poem that's like How the Grinch Stole Christmas-esque with like the narrator. And I love those little touches. Also, they're just really funny because the interactions between Cole and the narrator is very quippy. It's very sassy, and I love it. I'm back over here in my cutie little reading corner next to my Christmas tree. I have been loving just like sitting here and reading, or sitting here and filming and just like talking to you. But yesterday I did a lot of reading of How My Neighbor Stole Christmas. I keep wanting to say like How I Stole Christmas or like How the Grinch Stole Christmas, but it's How My Neighbor Stole Christmas. I got to chapter 21, which is 60% of the way through, page 289. Y'all, I'm really enjoying this book. So where I'm at right now in the book, Story and Cole are now friends, maybe a little bit more than friends. And I really, really like the way that Megan Quinn has kind of made that sort of resolution happen. First off, there was like a little bit of like a fake dating situation. Cole was trying to come off as the lovesick romantic that just wanted to go on a date with Story, and Story is the one that just keeps rejecting him, trying to win the town over, and kind of get a little bit of a pity boat because Story's been doing a similar sort of sob story pity boat thing with her Aunt Cindy. And through that, it was very, very short-lived. They started to actually have a conversation and actually communicating about the things that happened in their past and things that bothered them, and they worked through it together. And I thought that it was a very genuine conversation, a genuine way of going from that difficult past into a solid friendship that I think they're gonna have. Well, solid friendship leading to romance. But I really loved how the story progressed in that moment. It was just very precious. It was very wholesome. I'm still having a really great time. It's still really funny in different parts. There was one where Story is trying to sabotage Cole's light display. And the way that scene is written and the way that she describes and some things that happen, it's just so funny to me. And it literally had me laughing out loud. And then, of course, Max. I have said it before and I'll say it again. I absolutely love Max. Anytime that he comes up in the book, I'm like, he is just such a genuine friend to Cole, but like at the same time kind of poking fun and just like being, you know, that funny friend that kind of messes with you a little bit, but knows when to get serious when they need to. So absolutely love him. One person though that I'm kind of getting sick and tired of is Taryn. It's like the perfectionist older sister that always thinks that they're right. And as someone with sisters, it irritates me so bad. Like I get so annoyed for Story in the moments where Taryn is just being Taryn. So I'm interested to see if there's going to be any sort of like sister growth there in the rest of this book. Because I mean, we still have 40% left. There's a lot of things that could happen here. And with the pace that I'm going with this, I really think that I can finish this today. Like I have less than 200 pages left and I'm just reading it super fast. It's just really easy to absorb and easy to get through. So I think that I'll be able to finish this up today, or at least I hope I can. But I'm going to go ahead and jump back in and see if I can finish this off today because I'm really enjoying it. If you didn't know that already. So I just finished How My Neighbor Stole Christmas and I absolutely loved this book. Easy 4.25 stars. It was so well done in my opinion, and I loved the way that this book wrapped up. The third act conflict in this one, it wasn't like out of the blue. It wasn't random. It was very much built up and it made a lot of sense. It wasn't just like a miscommunication, something that a lot of romances do. It was like a real legitimate reason why Cole would be upset with Story if she were to be involved in something like this, which made the ending even more sweet with how Story decided to move forward with trying to resolve everything. It was just so sweet, and I was this close to getting emotional. It takes a lot to make me cry in a book. This one didn't quite do that, but it made me, you know, it just made my heart and my soul warm and cozy, and I absolutely love this book. Highly recommend anyone to read it this Christmas season. It is different from any Christmas romance that I've ever read, and it's also fun just because how it's kind of based off of How the Grinch Stole Christmas. It's a fun twist to it. Love pretty much all the characters. I'm still not a fan of Taryn. Just from the sisterly perspective, I can understand how she gets to certain conclusions in her head and why she acts the way that she does. That doesn't make her any less annoying to me, but absolutely love everybody else. I loved Cole's story. It took me a little while to like get used to her and her personality. I warmed up to her. And then Max. I love that man. He's such a loyal friend and he's so funny. I just love him. But yeah, 4.25, absolutely loved How My Neighbor Stole Christmas. Will be rereading. We'll probably be continuing the series as well, and highly recommend for anyone to pick this up this holiday season. But I think that's gonna wrap up today's video, and usually at the end of a video, I would hold up the stack of books that I read that week. This is the total stack. We have A Merry Little Meet Cute, we have the novellas, and then How My Neighbor Stole Christmas. She's little, but she's mighty. But this was such a fun reading week, definitely helped me to get even more into the Christmas spirit, and it makes me even more excited to pick up more holiday books this season. But anyways, thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!